What's going on, guys? So, today I'm going to go over how much capital you need to trade futures. I'll be going over two different brokers. So, two brokers that I currently use is Tradovate and AMP futures brokers. So, their margins are slightly different from each other. Not vastly different, but they're relatively the same. But I just kind of want to go over so you get an idea and a gauge on how much money you need in your futures account, so in order to trade certain pairs, certain indices, certain commodities, certain metals, stuff of that nature. But first things first, margins basically the current amount of money you need to trade a contract. And contracts are like the main unit sizes used in futures trading. So there are two different margins you have to worry about when it comes to the futures margin. So right now I'm on the futures margins calculator. You could just type this up on Google for AMP, and you type this up on Google for Tradovate. So you have day trading margin, and then you have maintenance margin. Maintenance margin is what you need to pretty much swing trade, pretty much carry a trade into the next session or the next day after the 5 p.m. close. So this is, for example, I'm on AMP. So to trade a micro ES or micro MQ, in order to day trade ES, which is S&P 500, if you're coming from the Forex side, that's SPX 500. In order to day trade that, so as you see right here, you need $40 in your account in order to trade one contract. So with two contracts, it'll be $80. With three, you just times it by, you just add $40 to it, basically. So for maintenance, in order to hold the trade into the next day, you would need $2,500 in your account. So not everybody has a whole bunch of money to trade with. So in order to kind of swing trade, you kind of need to be heavier in funding when it comes to that. I'll say that's probably one of the smaller downsides with futures, but to be fair, they leave everything out here, and with trading micros, you definitely could still make a really good, honest living with day trading versus swing trading. Next thing was NAS. So NAS, you need $100 to hold the next day. You need $3,694. The Dow. So the Dow is pretty much US 30. That's more weaker on future side compared to Forex. I know people from coming from Forex. US 30 is like usually the strongest between the three, but over here it's generally the weakest. So you need $50 a day trade. In order to swing trade, you need $1,568. Going over more down the list, there are other pairs, but kind of going more towards the popular side of things. So we have Forex pairs here. Let's go to micro. So you have micro Euro USD, you have micro JPY USD, micro CAD USD, GP USD. All these are kind of Forex pairs. You can kind of take a look here to see what the margins are. So Euro USD is like a popular trade in GBP. You need $55 a day trade, 74 for Euro, 220, 297 to swing trade, which is way more reasonable compared to indices. Going over to oil. So this is the mini version of oil. That's 1,186, 4,747. Let's find the micro version. Micro version is way more reasonable. $119 to day trade and $476 to swing trade, which is pretty good. Gold, one of our favorite pairs in the world. Mini gold, you need a whopping $10,857 to day trade and 43,428 to swing trade. Right now, gold and silver at the time of recording are the two hottest metals right now. So Sometimes brokers tend to increase their margins as they go, depending on the volatility and the activity on that said pair. And right now, gold and silver are the two strongest metals going on right now that are moving at insane percent gains at the moment. So it's not a surprise that they're so high right now. Micro gold 1,085. Beta is 4,343. As I said, this tends to change. Right now, the volatility on gold and silver is pretty much crazy. So after a while, once the volatility calms down, this will kind of drop down more towards the hundreds, $300, $400 range. So this will like refresh and update as the year goes on. Which is why it's always important to kind of just type up the margin calculator. And AMP and Tradovate, they generally do send you emails to update you on stuff of that nature. Moving on, we got silver. As I said, this is the mini version, which is obviously like the bigger version. 68,000. That's totally nuts. I'm pretty sure most people don't have such a large size account to start off with. Um, Mini 34,000. As I said, like all that stuff right now is insanely high due to volatility. And this is not normal numbers. This is just going on right now because of the crazy amount of volatility that's going on between these two. We have bonds. I don't really trade bonds, but just to have this is the full list here. We have commodities here. We have wheat, soybeans, corn, rice, oats, full list here. And as I said, this is the full list on each broker. I'm about to head over to Tradovate side. It's Bitcoin Cash, $356 for initial, 50 for day trading. Let's see S&P and NAS here. So very similar to AMP, $50 to day trade. ES 2,498 to swing trade, which is very similar. It's about the same compared to the $40. NAS same thing, $100 day trade, 3,700 to swing trade. It's relatively almost the same. Like whatever you expect from AMP is kind of what you're gonna expect from Tradovate. But just to kind of go through for the minis, ES Mini 500, NAS Mini 1,000. Pretty much everything you saw for micro, you always just times it by 10. That's pretty much what you're gonna get. That's the general rule of thumb. Whatever you see for micros, just times it by 10 for minis. US 30, 500. Same thing, 15,000 to the 90. Let's see commodities over here. So gold, same. Well, this is a little different here. For gold on Tradovate, it's 2,000. So gold on Tradovate is more reasonable right now. You have $200 to day trade and 4,330 to swing trade, which is more reasonable compared to AMP. Let's just go back real quick just to compare. Yeah, so AMP is $1,000 to day trade it. It's a very huge difference here that's going on. Copper 200, micro silver. Silver's still kind of high over here, 1,000, 18,000 to swing. Yeah, let's check the forex pairs real quick. Euro, $50. Everything here is $50 a day trade for forex pairs, and it's about the same to AMP. But yep, this is pretty much the sites you want to use to check how much capital you need your account. As I said, these do update as they go throughout the year, depending on the economic activity of that said asset. So it's always good to check once in a while, check every 3 months or so, like every quarter, I should say, what the margins are for whatever broker you're trading, whether that's Tradovate or AMP. Those are the two I'm personally trading, so that's what I'm showing. And every 3 months it'd be good to kind of check what you're trading with. But yep, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This pretty much gives an idea of how much money you need in your account to trade certain assets and how much you need to swing trade these same assets on your futures account. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoy your day. Peace.